Hello YouTube. So my New Year's resolution for 2018 was to start making some carp fishing blogs of when I go carp fishing, which is most weekends. So here I am. It's now February. I've started a bit late, but yeah, I've been kind of like putting it off a bit, but my missus was like, well, you got to start doing it somewhen. So now I am. So I am on a 72-hour session down at a fishery called Stafford moor down in Devon. It's probably about 4 or 5 acres in size, a lot of islands like bays and channels. I'm in a swim called Beach One, which is like a double swim, but there's nobody here, so I took the opportunity to jump in here because it's on the back of the wind, and the wind's quite cold at the moment. So I didn't really see a lot when I got here, so I didn't really have a lot to go on. So I've just sort of gone on my instinct really, just to see what's going to happen. There was a guy here doing a day session. He hadn't had nothing. He was on the other side of the lake. So yeah, this is home for the next 3 nights. All the gear's out, rods are down there. Everything's fishing. It's starting to get quite dark, so I'll show you like where I'm fishing and all the other bits and bobs, all rigs and bait and stuff like that. I haven't really put out a lot of bait at the moment. I'm just using boilies at the moment. Just one on a Ronnie rig on a pink pop-up. What's the other one? Candy Nut Crush, snowman style with a little topper on it. And the other one is a IQD rig. So yeah, we'll see how that goes, just with a wafter, and that is a Scopex. So we'll see how it goes, and I will update you if anything happens. Right now I'm going to carry on sorting all my kit out. I've pretty much done it all, but I'm going to leave, that's my barrow there. I like to leave all my stuff on my barrow, because then I'm able to move really quickly if I need to, which at this time of year you seem to do quite a lot. So I will leave it there, and I will come back to you with an evening update later on if anything happens. Alright, and guys, I'll give you a bit of an evening update. It's about 6:30 now, so it's completely pitch black outside. Rods are still out, still on the same spots as they were earlier. I'll go into a bit more detail because I didn't really go into a lot of detail earlier on because I was still flapping around trying to get everything ready. And like I said, this is the first time I've sort of like really done this. Made a cup of tea, which is all important. So I got here for about 3:30 today. I came straight after work. First thing I did was get the barrow down, and then sort of like got the deeper out because I've never fished this swim before, so I wasn't really too sure what I was fishing on or how deep it was or anything like that. Turned out to be about 5 foot of water, and it's pretty flat all the way around. There are 2 islands out in front of me, sort of. One is to my right hand side, and then another one is on the left. So I've got 2 rods just off of those, and it's probably in about 4.5 foot of water there. And then I've got another one that just runs along the channel at the back, and it goes out to a place called the Spit, which is got 2 swims on it. So I've just got one on the back of there at the moment as well, and again that's on about 4 foot of water. I don't know if I mentioned earlier, I don't think I did, the lake that I'm on today is called Lodge. There's 2 different specimen lakes here. You've got one that's called Beatties, and you've got another that's called Lodge. This is Lodge, which is kind of like the runs water of the place. So quite a lot of fish have been coming out of here recently. I fished Beatties last weekend, but that was blank. I think 2 or 3 fish came out of there all weekend over probably about 6 or 7 people that were on it in the end. So I decided, I'd give it myself a bit of a change. But I did have a 23 out of there the week before, so but it hasn't been fishing great. So I thought I'd come down here. I know that like two of the guys that I know who come down here quite regularly. I think they had about 12 fish out of here or something like that in 48 hours. So I've decided to come down here and give it a bash. But like I said, the guy that was on a day session here earlier didn't have anything at all, and I think he was here from about 6-7 o'clock this morning. So we'll see what happens. The temperature tonight is going to drop right off. It's probably going to be about 2 or 3 degrees. So and the pressure I think was about 1,018 or something like that with a southwesterly. So like I said, I am on the back of it, but it's not really blowing at the moment. It's just down as breezy, sort of like 10-12 mile an hour winds. So hopefully the fish will move around in the night. Like I said earlier, I haven't really put a lot of bait out. Probably just a handful of boilies just scattered around with a catapult, just to bring in a bit of attraction, really. But you never know. You know, something might happen later on, but it's early days yet. So I say we're here for 72 hours. So we'll see what happens in the morning. Might have a move depending on what I can see. Like I say, at the moment I haven't really seen anything, so I'll be up at first light tomorrow, see if I can see anything, and then we'll take it from there. But if nothing else happens until then you'll see me in the morning. I'm going to make something to eat, try and get a bit warmer, put the bivvy heater on, and yeah, I'll catch up with you then. Cheers. Morning, guys. As you can see from probably the lack of footage, nothing really happened last night. I woke up this morning probably about 6 o'clock, and I basically woke up to frost. Everything was glazed over and it was really cold, so I'm not too surprised that not a lot happened last night. What I did do is move. I didn't want to bore you all with moving gear around, so I've just sort of like left the camera off. But basically I'm in a different swim now. I'm in swim 3, which is on the other side of the lake. This is a swim that was producing fish last week, so I decided that was going to be the better option, really. That's where the guy was yesterday who blanked, but yeah, maybe today might be a bit different. The sun's out, it's a clear day, so you never know. Just need it to warm up a little bit. It is starting to get a bit warmer now, so yeah, I'm going to put the kettle on because I'm absolutely knackered lugging the gear all around again. So I'm going to have a cup of tea and I'll catch up with you in a bit. The effort of this morning is paid off with the move. Felt like the right thing to do at the time as well. So I'm quite happy. Got one in the net. A couple of bleeps on indication and then it was off. Got to weigh it yet, but getting on for 20, I would say. So we'll get it weighed and then we'll go from there. I'll let you know what it was. Worth the move. Right, and guys, a bit more organised again now. Finally had a fish, so I'm not blanking, which is great. That last fish was caught on a Nash Candy Nut Crush, sort of like a snowman style sort of thing. So bottom bait with a pop-up on a IQD rig. So that's what that was on, just off the point of one of the islands that I'm fishing. it was quite weird because after this morning, after I got myself set up, because I sort of did that like in the half kind of like dark, it was just starting to get light. I thought, well, I'll just have a bit of a lie down for an hour or so, and the minute I did that, the rod went racing off, gave me a couple of beeps just to sort of sit me up a little bit, and then that was it, boom, tore off. So that's all good. And like I say, we're not blanking, so you know, and that fish went to 17.2, which was a little bit smaller than what I thought it was, because I thought it would look like a 20 when it was in the net. It was really fat, but I'll take it anyway. And hopefully we can do the same thing again, but we'll see. Like anybody who goes carp fishing knows that trying to replicate something can be quite hard, especially at this time of year. So that's where we are. It did take out one of my other rods as well when I was getting it in, so I've had to redo that. So that's all done. So there's been a bit of a fuss and a bit of messing around and whatnot, but finally done now, so everything's back on the spots, and I'll give you an update as soon as anything else happens. There's a few more people here now. There's a guy to my left in the swim next to me, and a guy to the right as well, along this down wall, but it was quite popular to fish, so you get, like, you know, quite a lot of people here. So that's kind of like why I moved so early, because I knew it would be busy today. So but yeah, moving was definitely the way ahead. Leaving the gear on the barrow and, you know, going with that kind of ethos, if you like, definitely worked for me today. And that's the first time that I've done it. So yeah, moving was good. So we'll see what else we can do. Until then, guys, I'll give you an update later. Cheers. Well, fish number 2. There must be a reoccurring thing here, because every time I lie on the bed chair, the alarm goes off, so I'll keep doing that. Again, it's quite a decent size, yet to weigh it. I'll do that shortly. Get rid of the rig. And out of the net, I don't think he's quite as big as what the other one is, but he's not far off. Again, it's another mirror. Decent size, as they all are in here pretty much. Water. Just stop flipping and hold him up. There we go. Bloody hell. Alright. It's quite lively because he's been in the net for a while, but yeah. Try again. Got a bit of a wound on one side that I'll treat with a propolis in a minute. But yeah, decent. Good condition. So, ideal, happy. Taking a bit of a while, a few hours later, but and again that was on the candy nut crush, so seems to be working good. Like that, just get him back. Right then, no sooner that I put the other rod back out, my other one went off, which is great. This is 2 fish in about 10 minutes. Again, it's quite well into double figures on a Manila pop-up, this one, on a Ronnie rig. Let's get the hook out. So I'm going to have a bit of a change around with the baits in a minute. I'm using a krill pop-up, but it doesn't really seem to be doing too much, so I'm going to change the other one to a Manila as well shortly. So then I've got the Candy Crush and the krill. Get the net out of the way. stuff out. Okay, so fish number 3 of the session. Lets me lift him up. Alright. Jesus. Right. There we go. Fish number 3. Gonna flip it. Having none of it. There we go. Again, probably about 16, 17 pounds, something like that. Nice looking fish. So no damage on this one, so I'm going to put him straight back now. Yeah, happy days.
Nice one, mate.
Yeah, they are coming out slowly.
Yeah.
Alright guys, thought I'd just give you a bit of an update on what was happening. Those 2 last fish that you've just seen, the first one was £17 and the second one was £16 in the end after I weighed them, so that's quite good. Literally came 10 minutes within each other. I literally put one out and then the other rod on the left hand side went, so that was ideal. I've just changed the baiting strategy around a little bit, as I said earlier. I was using a pink krill pop-up on one of my rods, but that doesn't seem to be doing too much. It all seems to be happening on the Manila and the Candy Nut Crush, so I've changed over to those. I've got both of those in boilies as well, so good job around it all, really. So yeah, that's where we are now, and that's the situation. So hopefully we'll get a few more. We've had 3 today so far, so I mean that's not too bad. Definitely worth moving, as I said earlier. That seems to have paid off quite well, so seems to be fishing well over here. A couple of the guys down on my left hand side, there's 2 guys and a girl, and the girl was just saying that they lost one earlier, so, and they're on the Manila as well, so they seem to be coming out slowly and steady. So yeah, pretty good. Hopefully we'll have a few more yet. We'll see. Like I say, we're not breaking records at the moment, but they are coming out, which is the main thing. So, you know, not too bad at all really for this time of year. I think that's the most I've had on this. Yeah, that is the most I've had on this lake in a day. I've only ever managed one before, and the session before that was blank. So definitely starting to pay off. Definitely starting to get a feel for the place now, and yeah, we'll get a few more in hopefully by the end of it. But for now, I am going to have a cup of tea and a sit down because I need it. Right then, I'll just talk you through some of the baits that I've been using for this session. This here is the Nash Instant Action Candy Nut Crush in the 15mm size. And they are the pop-ups for it. So basically I've been fishing those as a snowman arrangement, so bottom bait topped with a pop-up so it sits up. That's the goo that goes with it, but they were already like pre-done because they come in like a brownie colour, so that's the colour of the goo. So, and they pretty much stain it that kind of colour. And I've got the green lip mussel 20mm. I've been halving those as well. All the 20mm I pretty much half, mainly chuck out as a loose feed, and just freebies. So that's the chorus green lip mussel. Then we've got these, which are the 20mm, and they are the crab and krill instant action by Nash. But again, haven't really proved too fruitful out here, but that just might be down to conditions or not being used to them. And these are the Scopex, which are again chorus. I find them to be quite a good boilie, really. Let's see if I can split one to show you. There you go. You've got all sorts of goodies in there, really. That's the Scopex one. So yeah, they pretty much go out like that all the time, just halved up, either just with a pair of scissors on the grinder, whatever easiest by hand for me, really, because I'm not really putting out a lot of bait. And then all of those as well go in with like a pre-tied PVA bag. So you've got a couple in there that are just crushed up. That's the Scopex ones, a couple of whole ones in there, just mixed and matched, really, just to stop tangles. So it's just a nice little bonus to put on the line. And got green lip mussel ones there as well, just as a couple of stringer arrangement, but in a bag. So yeah, the krill ones and the candy nut crushes, and that's pretty much what I've been using. So it's caught a fair few fish. There's a lot of people here just using manila, but I seem to have had the most success with a bit of bait range, so I don't think I've done too badly, really. So yeah, that's all the bait. Right guys, bit of an evening update. Just been and had a shower because I'm starting to feel a bit grot. Looks pretty light at the moment, I expect, on the camera, but it's actually getting quite dark. Just redone the rods. Problem is though, I'm now down to 2. Basically, I've got a problem with one of my reels. Something wrong with the drag on it, so it's not operating properly. So rather than risking losing everything, I'd rather just come down to 2 rods. Not too sure what's wrong. I'll have to have a look at it when I get home. So the plan for tonight is one is on a Ronnie rig on a manila pop-up, and that one is the 15 or 16mm that they do, and the other one is on a 10mm 10mm wafter, and that is the, I think that one's a cell, either a cell or a manila, I can't remember now, and that's topped with a little pink tipper on it, which is tiny, but it's just to give it a little bit of sight, a couple of boilies around it, and that's about it, really. I'll just give you a view of the lake, if you can see that. So that island behind me, which is, camera's not going to work there, probably about a rod length off of that one, and then behind me there, that back wall there is called the Spit, if you can see it. Not really, there you go, down there somewhere. Anyway, so that's where it is. If I don't see you during the night, then I'll see you in the morning. You get to catch a fish here at night, so we'll see what happens with that, but if not, I'll catch you in the morning. Well, just after my last piece of camera. Literally just about to get back in the bivvy, and the left out of the what is it? Yeah, the right hand rod went racing off again for fish number 4, just as it's starting to get dark. Not the biggest, probably the smallest of the day, maybe about 12 pound or something like that. Let's see if I can lift him up. Just a quick look. Oh, there you go. Hang on. Get that out of the way. I'll get him back as soon as I can because I won't have him out for too long. Alright. There we go. About 10, 12 pounds, something like that. But it's a fish nonetheless. And there's number 4. Taken on a manila pop-up and a little tipper. Or is it cell? I can't remember. I think it's cell. Either way, it's still a fish. Right, let's get him back and get the rod back out before it gets dark. Well, that was unexpected. That rod had been out for about 10 minutes or so, and straight away, boom. It's just all redone now, so it's pretty black outside now, so just put it back on the spot and a bit more bait and leave it out there. I don't have haven't yet to have a fish here in complete darkness. When it's getting dark, but not to the point of complete darkness or in the middle of the night. So maybe tonight will be the night, who knows. So right now I am going to make something to eat because I am hungry, very hungry. Right, and guys, just thought I'd show you quick little bits and bobs of what I've been doing tonight in the bivvy. Basically just been going through the box, seeing what I've got, and for tomorrow what kind of rigs I'm going to be using and that kind of thing. So what I've done is, I'll show you here, basically got a little cell dumbbell bottom bait tipped with half a pop-up. So basically it will pretty much sit up like that. There you go. So the hook lies flat like that, and that is on a IQ-D rig with the ring swivel there and coming down. There's got a little sinker in the middle of that on the IQ2 stiff, and then just a cover over the top of it. It sits over quite nicely. So yeah, that's just one of my rigs that I'm going to be putting on for tomorrow morning. I just thought I'd show you that while I was sat around doing nothing. Show you what else I've got in the box. All sorts, loads of different like pop-ups. This is my krill box, so everything krill goes in here. These are what I was using earlier to top off the little toppers for the snowmans, for the candy nut crush. So they work quite well. What else have we got in here? Krill pop-ups, brown ones. I don't think it really matters too much about bright baits in here. They seem to go just for the manila stuff. They don't seem to be interested in the krills. So we've got another little pot there. Also got other ones as well. I've got like pineapple juice and loads of fruity ones. And then in here is my other pot that I keep my manila and cell basically. So I've got the dumbbells, which is what I've just used there, which is basically half of one of those. A couple of other bits and bobs. The 12mm pop-up manila, that's the 16s, and then we've got like cell wafters and the sell sinking dumbbells. So all of which today have caught fish, so can't really be too bad. Right, I'll leave it there. See you in the morning if I don't have a fish. Hi guys. Well, I was saying that I've never had a take in the night here. I just had a double take. So basically, my receiver started going off. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, and picked the rod up, playing it, and then my second rod decided to absolutely tear off, went halfway across the lake. The bad thing is it ended up running down the far margin and taking out someone's rod. It's not funny, but took out someone's rod on the right hand side, and then woke him up. Sorry. But he saw the funny side of it, so it's not so bad. He did manage to, because it went underneath his line or something like that, so he thought he had a fish on, and then when he rode it in, he had the rig attached to it, and he could see that I was sort of up and around, and he was like, "Oh, I think I've got your rig," and it was only a little 10-pounder, but you find that the smaller fish in here seem to go like hell, like they do anywhere. But like I said, there wasn't really a lot I could do because I was in the middle of playing a fish anyway. So and he even gave me my rig back, which is good, and the leader, which is even better. So yeah, thank you very much if you're watching this. I'm sorry, but there you go. That's fishing. Never had that before. Especially in pitch black. That was an experience. Don't really want it again, but it was an experience. Right, I'm going to get my head down and go back to sleep, and hopefully I don't get a double run like that ever again, because that was horrible. Right guys, see you later. Good morning. Well, it's 7 o'clock now. Just starting to get light. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's raining at the moment. So that's due, I've just checked the weather app, and that's due to about 7 o'clock or something like that. So I think I'll sit in here before I do a bit of a recast. I might go for a shower first to get that sorted. So I might bring the rods out in a minute. I feel a bit normal again. Nothing else happened after last night's escapade. So yeah, I'm just making a cup of tea, wake up a little bit, I'll leave the rods out for a minute and see what happens. Yeah, last night was crazy, absolutely crazy. I've never ever had a run like that in my life. It was fast, is what I'll say about it. But it didn't help because I was in the middle of a take anyway, and then it just ripped off and ran right down the far margin, and matey had a rod down there, and it decided to take his line out. I don't think it was too bad, but he just sort of had to cut my leader off and whatnot, so that wasn't too bad. I got it all back as well, which was nice of him, because if it had been me, I'd told him to go away. At 1 o'clock in the morning, but yeah, that's what happened. So he was alright about it as well, which was really nice, because I was like, oh god, I felt really bad. But yeah, hey ho, never mind, today's another day. We'll get everything sorted in a bit once it stops raining. Just gonna make a cup of tea first, wake up a little bit, feel a bit normal, and we'll take it from there. Alright guys, just another quick update. All the rods are now back out. I managed to find a break in the rain to go and get out there and put the rods with fresh baits now and back on the spots. Got the kettle on as well again. So today, plan of action is basically the same as yesterday, same spots as I was fishing. There's a lot of activity on the water this morning, so that all looks quite good. So hopefully the rain will oxygenate everything a little bit and turn it on once the weather starts to get a bit warmer, because it's still quite cold. It's probably only about 4 or 5 degrees at the moment. Sorry, kettle's boiling. So right, basically I've put the that half of the sail wafter, or the bottom bait, sorry, and half that pop up, and that's fishing on the far bank. And then we've got again the little I put on a manila wafter with a little pink topper again, because that worked quite well yesterday. So also while I was out and around, I managed to see matey from across the road, so I just sort of like nipped round to see him quickly, just to make another apology, because I don't like to leave things like on bad terms or anything like that. Not that there was anyway, but I just went over and I explained the situation to him and he was fine about it. So, which is always nice, because some people in this like kind of world, you know what I mean, some people get funny about things. So but no, he was absolutely fine with it. He hadn't had nothing either. The funny thing is as well, is he managed to get that fish out and he took a photo of it. So it was like a little £10 common in the end, but he said that he could hear my alarm from his swim, like, so he knew what was on, and when he walked round, you can see that I had the other rod in my hand, so it was all good really. But yeah, I just think it's nice, just common courtesy, just to go around and just see him and just say, like, look, sorry, and he's fine. So, and he asked for a few tips while he was there, because he wanted to know what I was catching fish on, so I let him into the secret and told him what I was using. So yeah, so that's where we are. So I'm gonna have another cup of tea. It's quite chilly this morning, so the bivvy heat is back on, and we'll just go from there again and see what happens. The weather now is set to be dry for the rest of the day, just cloudy and a bit of sunshine here and there, so maybe not as good a day as yesterday, but you have to take what you've got. So we'll see how it goes, and I'll come back to you a bit later on. Afternoon guys, I just thought I'd give you a bit of an afternoon update on what's been happening. The answer to that is nothing, due to the lack of footage, obviously. Since I spoke to you this morning and I put those baits out, absolutely nothing has happened, and I think that's the same all around the lake, which is quite strange, because now it's quite a similar day to what it was yesterday, but for whatever reason everything has gone dead. I think one 14-pound fish came out of the swim next to me, and that's been it all day. So yeah, I've just retied a couple of new rigs, and I've just put those out. I've put one on a blowback rig, which is basically a different style of bait again. I've got some of these Chorus, they're made by Chorus. They're like a 20mm green lip mussel, they call it. So I've halved one of those down and just tipped it with a half of a pink pop-up, just to use on a bottom bait, because my run seems to be coming on the bottom baits. So I've just done that, and I've just put out the manila tops with the pink popper, because that seemed to do the trick yesterday, so that's out there as well. Looking around, I can see quite a bit of activity on the water again, but it's just the temperature is so up and down here. I think it's been the same all winter. Like, everywhere you go seems to be suffering with the same issues. So yesterday was like what I say is like the right place at the right time, and that's where this was yesterday. So obviously not today, and obviously not where everyone else is. So I mean, you know, there you go. I'll keep you updated on what's happening. I've got my cup of tea, which I need at the moment. So I'm going to keep watching the water and see what else I can see what's going on. If anything happens this afternoon, I'll let you know. But at the moment, nothing. Right, that's it then, guys. Everything's on the barrow. Rods are still out, just sat there, but we're just about to call it a day, really. Everything's loaded up, ready to go. So that's it. Unfortunately, I couldn't manage any more fish, so I'm sorry for the boringness of the vlog towards the end, but I've enjoyed making it nonetheless. So I'm not too sure when I'll be out again next. I'm planning a trip to Clawford, but it won't be for a couple of weeks yet because I'm away next weekend with the missus, and then I think the weekend after that I'm working. So yeah, be a few weeks yet, but if you've enjoyed this, then like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you for the next one. Take it easy.